Welcome. We are currently standing at a massive inflection point in software development. It's no longer just about writing code, it's about orchestrating intelligence. The convergence of serverless infrastructure and multimodal generative AI is fundamentally restructuring how we build applications. Today, we're going to walk through how Google's Firebase platform has evolved from a mobile backend tool into a comprehensive ecosystem specifically architected for this new life cycle, from the first spark of an idea to a secured global deployment. To navigate this shift, we need to think in terms of three interconnected pillars. First, we have Firebase Studio for agentic prototyping. This is about velocity, compressing the time from concept to code. Second, for the user experience, we have Firebase AI Logic, enabling low-latency, client-side inference directly on the device. And third, for complex reasoning, we have GenKit for server-side orchestration. But crucially, none of this works without a solid foundation. We'll look at how app hosting, cloud functions, and app check provide the scalable infrastructure required to run these AI workloads economically and securely. Let's start with Pillar 1, prototyping. The old way of development was friction-heavy, setting up local node environments, wrestling with SDK versions, and managing tangled dependencies. Firebase Studio completely changes this game. It is a cloud-based IDE backed by Gemini, but it's more than just a code editor. It's a workspace-aware AI that understands your entire project structure. It allows you to use natural language to generate, debug, and explain logic, effectively giving you a senior pair programmer that operates entirely in your browser. This capability enables what we call the glass-to-code workflow. Imagine having an idea for a date night generator. You input that high-level intent, and the prototyping agent generates a comprehensive blueprint, UI, database schema, and tech stack for your review. Once you approve it, the agent writes the full-stack code. You can then iterate, refining features like saving favorites using simple prompts, or diving into the code for granular control. Finally, with a single click, it wires up a CI/CD pipeline and ships it live. We are talking about going from a concept to a shareable URL in minutes, not days. Once you move past the prototype, you face the most critical architectural decision in AI development. Where should the brain live? Do you put the AI logic on the client or the server? This isn't just a preference. It dictates your app's latency, security, and capability. On one hand, you have the client-first path using Firebase AI Logic for speed. On the other, the server-centric path using GenKit for power and control. Let's break down how to choose. Here is your decision matrix. If your priority is low latency and zero infrastructure management, think chatbots or simple text transformation. Firebase AI Logic is your default. It connects directly to the model. However, if you are building complex agents, need to access private data, RAG, or have strict security requirements where prompts cannot be exposed to the client, you must use GenKit. GenKit runs in a trusted environment, giving you control over data privacy and complex orchestration that client-side code simply cannot handle safely. Let's walk down path A first. Firebase AI Logic is designed for real-time interaction. The magic here is the proxy gateway. Your app doesn't talk to the open internet. It talks to this gateway. This component is critical. It handles authentication, enforces quota management to prevent billing spikes, and translates protocols. It allows you to integrate features like multimodal input, analyzing images or audio directly from the device without building a single backend server. Implementation is surprisingly straightforward. As you can see in the code snippet, we use Generate Content Stream to stream the response. This is vital for AI apps. Users shouldn't stare at a spinner while the model thinks. They should see text appearing in real time. But with great power comes great risk. Security here is mandatory. We use Firebase App Check to attest that the request is coming from your actual app and not a script scraping your API key. The gateway verifies this token before the model ever sees the prompt, stopping abuse at the front door. Now, let's look at path B, GenKit. This is for when you need to build something smarter. GenKit is an infrastructure as code framework that runs on your server. It introduces the concept of flows, strongly typed functions that trace every step of the AI's reasoning. It also enables tools, which allow the AI to reach out and query a database or call an API. This is the foundation for autonomous agents and retrieval augmented generation, RAG, where you ground the AI's answers in your own private data. Deploying GenKit is optimized for Firebase via the on-call GenKit trigger. This wrapper automatically handles the complexities of streaming responses back to the client and integrates seamlessly with Firebase authentication. Notice the auth policy in the code. You can restrict expensive AI operations to only verified users. We also use Cloud Secret Manager to inject API keys at runtime, ensuring credentials never leak into the codebase. It's a secure, production-ready environment for high-stakes logic. Whether you choose client or server AI, you need a place to host your application. Traditional static hosting isn't enough anymore. Firebase app hosting is the modern evolution, designed for dynamic frameworks like Next.js and Angular. It supports server-side rendering out of the box, which is essential for securely handling API keys and managing streaming connections. It builds your app in a reproducible environment and deploys it to Cloud Run, handling the heavy lifting of infrastructure scaling for you. Let's see this in practice. First, a magic story generator. This uses Firebase AI logic. The goal was low latency and interactivity. The app captures an image, streams it directly to the model via the SDK, and streams the story back to the user. We secured it with AppCheck to prevent quota theft and used remote config to update the model version on the fly without an App Store update. Simple, fast, and secure. In contrast, consider this corporate menu planner. This required strict data adherence. We needed valid JSON output based on specific dietary restrictions stored in a private Firestore database. We used GenKit here. The server-side flow queries the database, constructs the prompt, enforces a strict JSON schema on the output, and returns the result. The client never touches the raw model, ensuring total control over the business logic. To wrap up, here is your playbook for building next-gen apps. 1. Leverage Firebase Studio to get to your MVP fast. 2. Don't be dogmatic. Adopt a hybrid architecture that uses client-side logic for speed and server-side GenKit for power. 3. Zero Trust security is non-negotiable. Enforce AppCheck everywhere. And finally, modernize your hosting to support the dynamic needs of AI. By following these principles, you aren't just building apps, you're building intelligent, scalable experiences ready for the real world. Thanks for watching this Mbilla.ai video made with Deck2Vid.